Yes, this is Mrs. Fletcher in 315. Would you make up my bill, please? Yes, I'll be leaving in a few minutes. Thank you.
Lieutenant Caruso, Boston PD. That's Sergeant Tierney. May we come in?
Oh, yes, of course.
Mrs. Fletcher, I'll get right to the point. The medical examiner thinks Lamar Bennett may have been murdered.
Really? The newspaper says nothing.
That makes two of you.
What?
Last night you raised the possibility of murder while talking to
Oh, yes, to Kay Garrett and Stan Lassiter. That was just conjecture, Lieutenant.
You conject accurately. The autopsy showed methylthionate in the system.
Oh, dear. And that mixed with alcohol,
It caused a massive cerebral hemorrhage. The coroner picked it up from a blood test. You work from a crystal ball, Mrs. Fletcher?
Well, with all the research that I do for my books, my head has become something of a storehouse for extraneous information. But of course, that's nothing like the kind of knowledge that you need in your job, Lieutenant.
I don't like being shined on, Mrs. Fletcher. I read that article the Sentinel printed about you. Not real flattering.
Well, surely you don't think that that silly story is sufficient motive for murder.
I deal in evidence, ma'am. Facts. And the chief fact I have uncovered about you is that you seem to know more about this man's death than you should.
Facts? All right. Let's talk about facts. The glass that Mr. Bennett drank out of, surely that must have yielded something useful, like a fingerprint?
The glasses were washed before anyone thought it could be murder.
Anyone but you, Mrs. Fletcher.
Another fact I seem to remember, methylthionate and alcohol needn't be administered at the same moment.
Funny. That's the same thing the medical examiner told me. Bennett could have either had the alcohol first or the other way around, Mrs. Fletcher. I suggest you remain in Boston. We may need you for further questioning.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but I know nothing about that man's death. And after I have visited a dear friend in the hospital, I am returning to Cabot Cove, unless, of course, you feel compelled to press charges against me right now.
Tierney, get her home phone number.